white cloaks in right?
I've been pondering the worst sequence of Season 2 of The Wheel of Prime, and after extensive thought, I've finally reached the conclusion that there's too many valid choices to narrow it down to a singular moment. So instead, I'm going to work my way through the worst moments of every character this season and see if that doesn't deliver to me an epiphany. I think I've got the best list, but feel free to drop a comment to let me know if you think I'm wrong about any of these, and while you're there, hit the sub and the like button. It's hard to beat Rand going nuts to butts with Lanfear for half a season, but at the end of the day, I've got to go with this particular gem.
There's one rule above all others for being a man. Whatever comes, you face it on your feet.
A few moments later. 1 hour later.
Let them through.
The next day.
It's the same as your last life. You tried to be so honorable.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Moiraine had a bunch of really ugly moments this season, including killing this horse for absolutely no reason whatsoever. But genuinely nothing she did is ever going to beat her trying to drive Lan off by being a complete bitch to him. This scene was unironically done better in Air Bud.
Buddy, get! You have to go, buddy. Please, buddy. Go! Get! Go! Get out of here! Don't you understand? Get! I don't want you anymore!
At least in Air Bud, the kid had a good reason for trying to drive off the dog. This show is unironically written worse than a children's movie about a golden retriever with a killer mid-range jump shot, and Moiraine Damodred is legitimately less emotionally mature and intelligent than a regular-ass 12-year-old boy in a children's movie from 1997. Outstanding work, Rafe Judkins. Through 7 episodes and 45 minutes, Lanfear's biggest dipshit moment was telling Rand that she also was a monster. Surely bonding the bitch first and waiting until you've conquered the world together before slipping in that you're one of the Forsaken would have been the best plan. But then, with 10 minutes to go in the season, we found out that Lanfear gave Bael Doman the Quendiar that he gave to Moiraine, that clued Moiraine in on Lanfear being freed, that led to this. If Lanfear wanted Bael Doman to get Moiraine involved, I have no idea why. If Lanfear didn't want Moiraine involved, I have no idea why she would give Bael Doman the Quendiar. Either way, Lanfear is a
babbling idiot
for giving Bael Doman the Quendiar and blowing up her own plan. Why did they do this? Now, Matt was tough for me. On one hand, digging the wrong way out of prison reveals Matt to be a man who probably deserves to be incarcerated for his own protection. We'll see if we can get him a spot next to Earl in the Kyrian Crazy House. But the winning moment for me has got to be him abandoning Egwene in her moment of need. I have a hard time even cracking jokes about this one because it genuinely makes me mad. I have never seen a show miss the point of a character by this wide of a mark. Min was actually pretty easy. I know you think I'm going to say that Min teaming up with Ishamael and making her a dark friend is the worst thing she did this season, and you're right that that's actually awful. Really top-notch stuff there, Rafe. But when it comes to a look into the actual character herself and evaluating the likability and quality of the person, nothing is beating the choice to rock this haircut voluntarily. This is the end result of someone who is either genuinely evil or is dumber than Matt, who, might I remind you, tried to dig out of prison the wrong direction. There are 11 people who are credited this season with some kind of hairstyling role, and every single one of these crack smokers woke up every single day and was totally fine with Min looking like Kim Jong-un. Kay Alexander rolls out of bed looking hotter than she does in this show. This was intentional sabotage, and nothing else makes sense.
It's treason, then.
Perrin was another tough one for me. On one hand, his murdering Jeff from Bornhold because he was salty that Bornhold, while defending one of his soldiers, killed a dog that Perrin had met a week ago, is textbook murder too. On the other hand, spending several days with Elias traveling in the wrong direction is absolutely damning for Perrin's intelligence. This is some genuine mouth-breather shit. Nick Fury, if I want to make sure I'm traveling south rather than north, how do I make that happen?
Is the sun coming up? Yes, sir. Then put it on the left.
Now, Egwene was interesting for me because she really doesn't make a lot of choices this season, and the ones that she does make really aren't all that annoying, which to me is further proof that Rafe Judkins has never read these books. But the one thing that annoyed the hell out of me early on was her refusing to use her hands when practicing with Alanna. Now, I know that seems like an odd choice, but bear with me. The fans of this show acting like this was the most brilliant piece of character work since...
I am that guy.
was absolutely insufferable. And yes, I get it. She's traumatized from her time being bound in captivity with the White Cloaks and is concerned she won't be able to channel if her hands are ever bound again. Trust me, I get it. Number 1, that's not that clever. Second, learn the basics first in class and then figure out how to do it without moving your hands on your own time. Her working extra hard to master skills outside of class would be the first thing this show has done to actually make me like this miserable wretch of a character. Way more useful than using that screen time on her getting day drunk with Elayne. Speaking of Elayne, was there a worse moment in the season than her, quote-unquote, valiantly refusing to give up the names of her co-conspirators? The show all but strutted this scene like they had just knocked it out of the park and had done an amazing job establishing Elayne as awesome. But guys, it was her furniture. Her co-conspirators were in on a conspiracy that would only help her. Not turning on your co-conspirators in an exclusively selfish conspiracy is not a winning moment. You shouldn't have pulled them in the first place. Nynaeve was tough. On one hand, drinking the shit water revealed her to be a genuine sociopath, but we already knew that from last season's attempted murder. This season, though, one of two things was revealed to us. Either A, she is a sadist who really hates Elayne and was trying to cause her maximum amount of agony, or she is actually a fraud who has lied about all of her credentials in order to become the village wisdom. We know it's one of these two things because nobody with any kind of medical training or an IQ above freezing would actually try and shove an arrow with the fletching still attached through somebody's leg. I'm leaning sadist. It's clearly established that she has some kind of medical knowledge in this show, while also having a complete disregard for the safety and comfort of others. You know how Lanfear blew up her own plan by getting Moiraine involved for no good reason at all? Well, Ishi did that too. Anybody who says these villains are good is on crack, and yes, Brandon Sanderson, I'm calling you out. Despite knowing that Lanfear planned to betray him...
Aren't you worried I'll betray you?
Will you?
Obviously.
He is utterly caught off guard when it happens.
My master, you called for me. Lanfear's betrayed us.
And that's bad enough. But what makes this even worse is that he never needed her. No part of Ishamael's plan of turning Rand's friends to the dark actually required Lanfear's involvement, and she even actually hinders his plans. Despite 2 attempts at it, there is no good explanation for why he would free her. If I'm to believe this stupid show's logic, I am forced to conclude that Ishamael blew up his own plan by inviting Lanfear because he was fucking lonely.
Why did I wake you?
Oh, sweetheart, it's because you know you need me. I balance you.
Not you.
Lan was absolutely wretched this season and gives off so much beta energy I can see why Moiraine treats him like a worthless pussy. With that acknowledged, Lan's worst moment this season absolutely has to be him snitching on Moiraine to Alanna and her beta bitches. If Lan had simply left when Moiraine started being a bitch, great. If he had backhanded her across the face when she started getting mouthy, even better. But ratting her out is something that he just cannot do. Lan from the books is a man of honor. Lan from the show is a jailhouse snitch. It is amazing that all of these characters suck to the extent that they do. They do horrible things that demonstrate they're either excessively evil or legendarily incompetent. These writers are so bad that not a single character they touch manages to come off as remotely competent or likable. I can't tell if it's funnier when the characters suck because the writers are trying to make them likable and fail despite doing their best, or when they don't realize what exactly they've done. Discerning incompetence versus maliciousness is the only source of conversation worth having about this show, and based on comments coming out now, it's likely that trend will continue in Season 3. Agree or disagree, let me know down below. I love you guys, and you all walk in the light.